This video lesson is going to show you how to draw a nose. So I'm going to show you my sample here just to kind of show you how we're going to get started. So to draw a nose, what you're going to do is to start out by drawing a few circles. So I'm going to start out with having a larger circle. I'm just drawing lightly because I'm going to end up erasing this later. So I'm going to have a larger circle in the center. It looks like that doesn't show up very well on the screen, so I'm going to go a little bit darker with mine. Just make sure that you guys are drawing light when you draw your circles, okay? Because those will get erased eventually. So I'm going to do a larger circle in the center, and then I'm going to do two smaller circles that kind of overlap on the sides. And those smaller side circles, you want them to be approximately the same size, okay? So that's how I'm getting started, is just to have those circles as my guide or as my base, okay? Remember, you're going to be drawing those light. So I'm going to do mine on another piece of paper, the same thing. I'm just going to do that in a lighter version so that those dark circles don't show up. So once again, it's going to be a larger circle in the center, drawing really light, and then a smaller circle on each side that just kind of overlaps, okay? Using those circles as my guide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make parentheses around the edges of my circles. So those are going to be the sides of my nose. So I'm just going to do a parenthesis over here and a parenthesis over here on this side too. Okay, so that's going to be the darker part of your nose. And I'm just going to bring that one in just a little bit farther there on the bottom. Now we're going to make the base of the nose. This is going to be kind of a curved line that connects this side of the nose to the other side of the nose. But then this part is going to be the tip of the nose, where kind of right above the lip, okay? So I'm just going to kind of curve this down and across. Once again, I'm kind of making mine dark so that you can see it on the screen, okay? And that gives us a little bit of the base for our nose. So I can kind of take those parentheses that I made at the beginning and just kind of bring those under a little bit heavier. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is use my eraser. I'm using the one on the end of my pencil, but you can sure use an art eraser for that if you need to. I'm just going to use that eraser and erase those circles that I started out with for my nose so that those don't show up anymore. So what we originally drew, we want to make sure that that's erased and is no longer showing as we now have the form to our nose. Okay. Now you can make a nose using your regular pencil. Sometimes your mechanical pencils that a lot of the students use don't always work as well for blending. So if you're using a mechanical pencil today instead of a regular pencil, I recommend that you use one of the classroom pencil sets like this one. It has different weighted leads, and we'll kind of talk through using some lighter ones today for practice. Okay, so to start with, what I'm going to do, I'm kind of using the edge or the side of my pencil. I'm using it more as a flat part. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the bridge of my nose that's going to come down from the top and around kind of where that circular spot was that I had earlier for my nose. So I'm just kind of darkening that up just a tad, making the bridge to the nose area. And I'm going to use the tip of my pencil over here on this side, kind of bring that nose down and around the same way. Then I'm coming back to the flat side of my pencil. I'm just going to darken that up or shadow that up just a little bit. Once again, kind of curving around where that original circular shape of my nose was. Okay. And I'm just going to take that shadow down the side of the nose just a little bit. This would be the part that comes out under your eye, just to make it a little bit darker. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit darker down here around the nostril area and even a little bit underneath. I'm just kind of curving that as I go. I'm going to turn my paper a little bit and do the same thing on this side, using the side of my pencil, curving that. Remember, if you're using a mechanical pencil, it's not going to shadow and shade quite the same as a regular leaded pencil. So you can use these sets. What I would recommend is either an HB or a 2B. They are marked on the ends. Okay, so this one's a 2B. And you can do the same thing with those. They're going to be a lighter lead, and then you just kind of use the side of it to blend that in there. Now, once you start getting some shape to your nose with that lead, you can actually use your finger. We have things called blending stubs too, but today I'm just going to use my finger. I'm just going to kind of start spreading that pencil lead around a little bit, leaving the lighter part in the center of my nose and the darker part kind of down around the edges. So now I'm going to use, once again, you can do your drawing pencil from the class set, or you can use a regular pencil. Mechanical pencils will be a little bit harder to use. So you can start adding a little bit of shadow here on the tip of the nose. Not too dark. One of the things that we're going to focus on today is value. Value is use of lights and darks when you're drawing. So you're going to notice that I'm going to have some really dark over here as I'm going to press harder with my pencil. So that's going to be a darker value. Same thing down here under the nostril area. That's going to be a darker value too. I'm going to push a little bit harder with my pencil, get a little bit darker color. And then over here on the side of the nose, same thing. Pressing just a little bit harder as I color, and then harder under the nostril to get that darker value as well. Then I'm going to go back in, blend those colors together. So I have a little bit of darks and a little bit of lights, okay? Now for the top of my nose, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I don't want it to be completely white on the top of my nose, so I'm just kind of adding a little bit of shadow here. I'm curving as I go. It's not really a straight line that I'm making. I'm just kind of curving. And then I'm also going to kind of curve that up towards the forehead of the nose, okay? So I can shadow that just a little bit, blend that in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side of the nose. I'm just doing a little bit of shadow, a little bit of curved lines. And then that's going to kind of curve up towards the eyebrow area or the forehead area. Blending again with my pencil. I feel like I have a little bit of a thicker bridge to this nose, so I'm going to thin that down just a bit with my pencil. This would be the area where the eye would go, right up in here. That would head towards the eyebrow. So I'm just darkening that up with my pencil, and then I'm going to just kind of shadow blend that down like so. And like I said, we're not drawing the eyes today. Typically if we were drawing the eyes, that would start right in here in this area and another one over here. But this is just to get us started on how to draw a nose. Okay. Once again, anywhere you feel like it's not quite dark enough, you can always go back and add just a little bit heavier pencil line. And then if you feel like you need an area where it's a little bit lighter, we want to try to be careful on those nostrils just so we don't get like pig nose area there, okay? If you want it to be a little bit lighter and you feel like you've made it too dark, just go back just a little bit with your eraser and just kind of lightly smooth out that color a little bit to make the value on the lighter side instead of the darker side. Okay, I'm just gonna blow the pencil erasers off there. So I've got a good start to my nose, just to kind of give you an idea where the lip line would be, and we'll do lips another day, but this is just kind of to show you where that lip line would be, right underneath those nostrils. So you would actually have just a little bit of shadow or shading right down here above the lip as well. So you'd have just a little bit darker spot in that area. And once again, just using my finger, you can see, I'll hold it still there so you can see it. You can see that that pencil really gets onto the finger area. Okay. And with that, just to kind of show you back to my sample, that is how you draw a nose. So your job is to create a nose of your own in your sketchbook today. Don't forget, you can use this video as much as you want, so feel free to watch it, pause it as you need to while you're drawing, and hopefully you'll have fun creating.